Good morning. Online students, good morning. Online students, please confirm the video and audio quality. Am I audible? Right, okay. Thank you. Okay. I'm Kanagaraj, faculty for agriculture. I have been in this field for the last 15 years. I have gone to UPS entry 5 times, 3 times for IAS and 2 times for Indian Forest Service with the agriculture and botany optional. I've been teaching agriculture optional for the last 9 years. So for agriculture optional as well as the GS, the agri issues. Okay, right. Okay. How many of you are agri graduates? All of, right. Okay, good. So any allied subjects? All of you are BSc Agri. Any BSc Horticulture, Forestry, allied subjects, Bioscience, right? Okay, good. Online students? Any non-agri graduates? Right. So have you decided agriculture optional already, or any confusion regarding choosing this optional? Already decided, okay? Right. So if you have any confusion, I give one clarification, okay? Right. So overall in our UPSC optional subjects, right? So we can divide them into 3 major, the classification of subjects into 3 major area. The humanities subjects, social science, sociology, geography, political science, public administration, anthropology, right? So these are the very popular optionals. So they are grouped under the humanities subjects are the social science, right? Another major category, science. So pure science or technical subjects, right? So agriculture, zoology, botany, physics, chemistry, engineering, right? So they come under this category. Then one more category, literature subjects, okay, right? So regarding this, the 2 major area, the humanities and science-based optional, but actually agriculture is not a pure science, okay? So the botany, zoology, chemistry, physics, they are pure science. Agriculture is a applied science. So we apply the concept of pure science in agriculture, right? So we apply the concept of botany, genetics in agriculture, right? So if you take the paper 2 syllabus, we have genetics and plant breeding, right? So we apply the concept of genetics in the plant breeding, okay? And the seed technology also. We apply the concept of plant breeding in the seed technology, right? So all are interrelated, okay? And again in the plant physiology also, we study the applied area, right? So we study the pure science, the botany area, and then we apply the concept in agriculture, okay, right? So agriculture is not a pure science, it's applied science. Similarly in the forestry also. So forestry is applied science, it's not a pure science, okay? Again in forestry, we apply the concept of botany, right? So geology is a pure science, okay, right? So regarding pure science and technical subject, so here, how can we choose this optional, right? So if you have any confusion regarding this area, right? So regarding the humanities subjects, the advantages are, do you know the advantages of choosing this optional? Very popular, and the resources are very abundant, right? You need a lot of coaching, so throughout India, right? So these are advantages of humanities subject. Moreover, here, no need to mug up, right? Mostly the syllabus are very narrow, so we can easily cover the entire syllabus without much study. So mostly we apply our general knowledge and based on the current understanding, current affairs, right? So we can able to manage those area. So this is advantage of humanities subjects, right? Whereas in the pure science or technical area, if you choose this optional, the main issue here is you must know the concept, right? We cannot write any story. We cannot fluff. So you have to understand the basic concepts, right? And you have to read everything. You must know every word in the syllabus. Then only you can able to answer those questions. But the biggest advantage in the pure science area, like agriculture, scoring is very easy. High scoring. Because here there is no any, no need to worry about this introduction, conclusion, extra story and all, right? No need to link with the current affairs or dynamic area. So they are purely static, right? So those who have in the pure science area, those who can able to mug up the scientific names, and those who can read the book well. So directly, okay, if you are reading the book, then we can able to give answer from directly from the book, right? So no need to worry about these dynamic areas. No need to link with the current affairs, right? So just you have to give what is given in the book. Just you are reading the book and then you are writing the answer by understanding the concepts, right? So that's why here the evaluation is objective in nature. So okay, if they are asking about DNA or RNA or any genetic, the general concept, okay, the science-based concept, right? Just we are writing only those areas. So no need for any extra story. Whereas here, the objective is subjective in nature. You need to convince the examiner. So your thought and the examiner thought should be aligned on the same line, right? So the evaluation is subjective nature here. This is the biggest disadvantage in these optionals, right? You have to impress the examiner by writing a better answer. So here the writing skill is very important. To choose this optional, okay, you can easily cover the optional, right? But your writing skill is very important for this kind of optional. But here you need to worry about writing skill and all. So just you are reading the book and you are giving the answer directly from the book, you will get extra marks. Okay, you will get maximum marks, right? So this is the biggest advantage in the pure science optional, right? But actually, for most of the areas, especially the pure science area, so I told you, agriculture is applied science. For the pure science area, the subject is vast, right? So we have to cover every word in the syllabus. Okay. So that's it. In general, these are the pros and cons. Okay, so that's it. So in general, for no subject is easy or tough, because often I receive calls, okay, from the students. Often I receive this inquiry regarding so whether agriculture is an easy subject, right? Whether it is easy scoring. I don't understand what they mean, easy, because we have come to the civil service preparation, right? And this is one of the toughest exam in the world. Okay, in India is one of the toughest exam. So the toughest means not the exam process, right? The exam itself is not tough. The toughest means competition. So every year more than 10 lakh candidates appear for the examination. So the toughest means the competition. So the success rate is very low when compared to the number of candidates appearing for this examination. But the exam process is easy. So every optional is high scoring. Every optional is suitable, right? Only if you approach systematically. The systematic approach with the proper guidance. That's why you are here. So the coaching is, okay, so what is the importance of coaching? Actually, you are ready to hard work, right? So you have come to this field, right? So we cannot just like that you're going to clear this examination. You must put your 100%, 200% the hard work, right? So you are ready to do hard work, but it should be in the right direction. That's called smart work, right? So in the coaching, we provide a proper guidance in the right direction, right? So the systematic approach, even okay, within 1 year, just 1 year is enough to clear the examination. So many students they clear okay, in the first attempt itself. That should be our aim. So we always okay, try to clear the examination in the first year itself, in the first attempt itself. Okay, right. Okay, so why agriculture, right? So you have to choose optional based on your strength, right? So here in the science-based optional, just I told you that. So here we have to read the entire syllabus. So coverage of entire syllabus is important, right? We cannot skip any part of the syllabus. And moreover, you must know the concepts. Conceptual understanding is very important. We cannot write any story, right? So the biggest problem here is, if you don't know the answer, you cannot write the answer. Whereas in the humanities subject, if you don't know the concept, but you can manage. At least you can manage those areas based on your understanding. Based on your general awareness, you can able to answer most of the area. But here, you must know the concept. You must know the proper answer. Okay, right. But the advantage is that high scoring. You are giving technical answer, right? So the scoring is very easy, right? So why agriculture? So just I told you the same issue, the same reasons. So when compared to this popular optionals, sociology, public administration, political science, geography, the number of candidates appearing for examination is very, very high, right? So if you see the relative proportion, the number of candidates appearing and the final result, right? So this is what we call success rate. In agriculture, consistently for the last 6-7 years, it has been producing excellent results. And from our academy alone, under my guidance, so recently we are producing very good results from agriculture optional. So last year alone, 8 students from our academy cleared the exam and the top rank, okay, around 100. So they reached the top rank. So moreover, consistently we are producing the high score in agriculture optional. Our students only. At the all India level, the highest score in agri optional, more than the 270, 280 and all, our students only. Okay, right. So last year alone, 8 students from the CSE and 8 students from the forest service. Okay, and this year also, nearly 30 students cleared the CSE mains and they are appearing for the interview. So currently I'm guiding those students for the interview process. The mains, okay, after writing the mains, okay, usually I guide the students for the interview process also, because for the agri graduates, in the interview process, we can expect questions mostly from the agri issues. Agriculture play a major role. Okay? In every entry board for the agri graduates, the maximum questions are from the agriculture. More than 50 questions from the agriculture. So this is the process currently going on. Okay, right. So the success rate is very high. So what is the meaning success rate? Number of candidates appearing for the mains, out of which how many candidates are clearing, right? So consistently it is producing 10% success rate. No other optional. Even the popular optionals like sociology, geography, political science, anthropology, the success rate is in the range of 5 to 6% only, or 7 to 8% only, right? Only in agriculture you can see the success rate is more than 10%. If 100 candidates are appearing for the mains, then 10 students are clearing in the final result. Okay, right. And then usually earlier, after the revision of this GS subject, usually the students avoid the pure science optionals, the science-based optionals, because very limited overlapping with the GS area. So one of the reason why earlier, why the students mostly they choose geography, sociology or political science, because highly overlapping with the GS area. Political science with the polity, sociology with the society, right? Indian society, geography with, again, you will study geography in the GS also, right? But nowadays, from agriculture, we can expect 4 to 5 questions in the prelims also. Pure agri questions in the prelims area, right? In the GS. Again, in the mains also, in the GS paper 3, there are 4 questions from agriculture, and those questions are technical, right? So 4 questions constantly, 50 marks from agriculture in the GS paper 3, right? So overlapping GS, okay, the syllabus with the GS. And then this is what I told you, no dynamic, static. The subject is fully static. Just you have to follow the syllabus. Okay, no need to follow even current affairs. Okay, not important. Here in agriculture, current affairs are not important because it's a science-based optional. Just you have to read the syllabus from the standard reference books, and based on that you have to write the content. So current affairs are important only for few areas that I will explain later. So what are the areas later for current affairs in the class? I will discuss, right? But the subject is purely static. So the syllabus is a definite syllabus. Just you have to follow the syllabus. Okay, right. And then objective evaluation. So evaluation is objective nature. If you give the correct answer, technical answer, there is no chance of, okay, the examiner, they cannot reduce the marks. If you give the proper answer, here, no chance of reducing the marks. Okay, right. And then another advantage for the agri students, you can also appear for the forest service, right? So many students are struggling to clear forest service because of the optional combination. Because currently there are only 4 optional subjects are very popular in the forest service, and we have biggest advantage for the agri, okay, for the agri optional students, right? Because there are only 4 popular optionals: agriculture, forestry, geology, botany, right? We have to choose only these 4 optional. So either we can go for agriculture and geology, or agri and botany. Agri-forestry combination is not allowed. They removed that combination, right? Earlier, okay, earlier it was there, agri-forestry combination. So later they removed this combination. Okay, they banned this combination. So currently, either we have to follow the agri-botany combination or the agri-geology. But agri-geology is not a good combination. So for the agri option students, the best combination is agriculture and botany, right? So during our coaching, I will also guide regarding the botany area because I went to interview with agriculture botany combination. So I will guide you regarding how to prepare for the botany also. Okay. So many topics are overlapping, but in agriculture and botany, particularly in the paper 2, the botany subjects are again you study in agriculture, right? The topics like genetics, cell biology, plant breeding, plant physiology. So these subjects we study in the agriculture and botany also. In the botany, we go in depth, right? So the syllabus is very elaborate, so we go in depth. But agriculture, the syllabus is very limited, okay, for these areas. Okay, right. So this is another advantage for us. So just okay, by covering one optional, we can appear for the 2 exams, the CSE as well as Forest Service, and extra we have to cover only one optional. Whereas for the engineering graduates, the main problem here is they have to choose 2 optional again. So they have to choose one optional for the CSE. Mostly they go for the geography, sociology, or political science. Then again for the Forest Service, they have to choose 2 more new optional. Forestry, mostly they go for the forestry geology combination. Okay, right. And then the PVQs. For any science-based optional, the repetition of PVQ is very common. Okay, but nowadays actually they are the pattern is changing. They are recently they are revising the agri optional paper. So not only agri optional, paper, every optional paper. So they're completely revising the setting the questions, right? So nowadays, suppose okay, you might have heard about previous toppers videos, or you might have referred to the internet, right? So don't fall to this trap. PUIQ is part of our preparation, right? Because many students they believe that covering only PUIQ last 30 years, 20 years, they prepare only with the PUIQ. Okay, that's not a good strategy. So don't fall into this trap, right? So agriculture is a stuff. Okay, we have to accept that, right? So agriculture is a science-based optional. We have to cover a lot of syllabus. Every word in the syllabus is important. We have to work hard, right? But we can score easily. It's a high scoring, right? So you need to ready to. You should be in a position to work hard, right? Okay. So don't fall for this trap. PUIQs are important, but your preparation should be based on the syllabus, not based on the PUIQ, right? Because nowadays the questions, okay, the repetition has reduced, right? So they are asking new questions, and the questions are from syllabus only, but they are exploring new areas, and they are reduced to the dominance of PUIQs in every year, right? Earlier, 10 years back, so 5, okay, yeah, 10 years ago, okay, so 6-7 years back, almost 70-80% of the questions from PUIQ only. So if you cover last 10 years, 20 years PUIQ, then we can able to cover nearly 70-80% of the questions, right? But now the contribution is very, very limited. Just 50 or 60% PUIQ, then remaining the 50% questions are from the new questions. Okay, right. So for agri graduates, without a second thought, okay, this is the best option for you. So don't think about it, okay, except actually the condition is for the, I think, you have completed your bioscience. So most of you coming from the bioscience background only in the higher secondary. And the physics, chemistry, biology, maths, okay, right. So for the bioscience students, this is the best optional, right? So for the agri students, suppose, okay, otherwise, okay, if you are facing difficulty in the pure science concepts. So pure science means the plant physiology, genetics and plant breeding. Actually, you don't worry about that. Here in our class and the coaching, I will teach from the basics only, okay, from the scratch. I will teach okay, all those concepts very clearly, right? Unless otherwise, okay, if you are facing since the school time, so if you are facing a struggle, if you are struggling with the pure science area, then you can think about other optional. But for the agri students, agri optional students, this is the best option. Okay, agriculture is the best option for you. Then apart from this, the students with the non-agri students, for the non-agri graduates, the students with any the science background, BSc botany or BSc zoology, microbiology, biotechnology, environmental science, right? So for these students, agriculture is the best optional. They can also choose agriculture optional Because why I'm suggesting agriculture for the botany zoology graduates? Because in this area, the pure science area, those optional subjects are very, very tough. When compared to agriculture, the syllabus is very vast, very elaborate, and moreover, it's very difficult to cover those area when compared to agriculture optional paper, right? So they are highly technical. So they can think about choosing the agri optional, right? Then for the engineering students, here, if they studied biology in their higher secondary, then okay, they can choose, right? I won't recommend agri optional for the art students, economics, accountancy, and then for the engineering students with the computer science in the higher secondary, right? So it's not suitable for those people because it's very difficult to cover the paper 2 area. So in agriculture, the paper 1 is general. ஏன்னா நிறைய பேர் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்கன்னா அந்த பேப்பர் 1 பார்த்து after seeing the paper 1 syllabus, they think that okay, we can choose agriculture optional, but the paper 2 is technical, right? So I won't recommend agri optional for those students with the engineering students with the biology, right? So they might have studied computer science in their higher secondary. So it's not suitable for them, okay, right? So if you have the biology background, the bioscience background, at least you must have interest in the pure science, bioscience. They can choose, okay, right? Okay, so for any doubts regarding choosing optional, the nature of agri optional? Online students? Right. So coming to our coaching. So regarding this optional program, right? So it's a 5 months program. Okay. So we will start the program next week onwards. The class is going to start. So it's a weekend batch. Okay. Already one regular batches going on, right? So it's a weekend batch, right? So it's a 5 months program. So on the weekends, I will take 4 hours class, right? So we can finish the class by the end of April. Okay, so maximum it will go up to April 2nd week or 3rd week. Okay, right? We will finish the course, right? So it's a 5 months course, and then on a major issue in our agri optional paper. So there are 10 subjects for the paper 1 and paper 2. Okay, so for each paper there are 10 subjects are there. So one major issue in our agri optional syllabus, the syllabus is very, very, it's not actually syllabus is elaborate, but it is given in a very brief word. The syllabus is not given in a elaborate sentence. Just they give only the major the topics, okay, major headings, right? So the problem in the agri optional syllabus, you need to decode the syllabus. Under a particular syllabus word given, okay, in this particular subject, we have to decode the syllabus. What are the areas we have to cover? This is a main challenge for the students with agri optional without coaching, right? So in the coaching in our program, we will decode the syllabus and we will cover what are the areas we have to cover under a particular syllabus, the syllabus topic, right? So one more thing here, for every subject we have to refer a separate reference book. And again, recently there is a trend, use of ChatGPT, okay? So simply they search the syllabus word in the ChatGPT and they are preparing the content, right? So don't do that, except okay, for some PVQs. Okay, some PVQ for some complex area to understand the concept or some miscellaneous topic. Maybe you can refer the ChatGPT, but don't prepare based on the ChatGPT. Okay, you won't get marks because this is technical subject and the questions are set by the agri professors, right? So from the TNAU, IARI, ICR, so those are agri universities and the agri professors, they are setting the question. So they are setting the question from the standard reference books. So for plant breeding, BD Singh, I know the reference book, okay? So where they are setting the question, I know exactly the source. That's my strength, right? I researched okay, all those okay, previous questions, right? I know exactly where they are taking the question from, okay, from which book. I can tell you exactly, right? But the problem is we have to refer more than 20 books. For each subject, there is a proper reference book. So you have to produce the content from the, because they are setting question directly from the book. So you have to write the content from based on that book, right? Not from ChatGPT. You won't get enough marks by writing again those answers, right? So for every subject, we have to refer a proper reference book, right? So in our Agri optional program, I am providing one comprehensive material. So for both paper 1, paper 2, there are 6 books. So paper 1, 3 volume, paper 2, 3 volume. So it's a 2000 page material totally for the entire Agri optional, okay, for the 20 subjects. A single material for the entire Agri optional. So that you can save a lot of time. And based on my experience. So during my preparation, at that time, we didn't have this awareness and resources. So we imported a material from the Delhi. Okay, so I imported material from the IARI, my seniors, okay, from IARI. So at that time, we faced a lot of difficulty regarding this collection of the resources, right? I faced this difficulty. So we need to refer more than 20-30 books, okay, for the Agri optional. For every subject, we have to refer the different, okay. Even in the horticulture, no single reference. Under the horticulture, we have to refer more than 3-4 books for every topic, okay, right? So that's why I prepared this material. After realizing this difficulty in the Agri optional preparation, I prepared here. So for the last 5 years, I've been giving this material for our students, right? So it's a single comprehensive material for the entire Agri optional. You need to refer any other sources. And particularly this, okay, this reference will be useful for the non-agri graduates. Even for the agri graduates, you know there's some references, right? At least in the college, you might have heard about some references like BD Singh, plant breeding, BD Singh, then agronomy, Yellamanda Reddy, right? Some references are there, right? But for non-agri graduates, it's difficult. So they don't know where to refer, which book to follow. Because for a single subject, okay, they can find in the Amazon, they can find more than 10 sources. They don't know, okay, where to refer the particular subject, right? That's why I have prepared this material. I compiled this material from the standard reference books and prepared this material, right? So you will get, okay, along with our coaching, you will get this material. So a single reference book for the entire Agri optional. Just you can follow this material. No need to refer any other books. Just my class notes, right? And then this material, okay? Okay. And regarding this conceptual clarity, okay, I know that many students, the Corona batch, okay, in between, we crossed the Corona batch, yeah, okay, right, and the next year, okay, right. So the Corona batch students, they face a lot of difficulty in understanding the concepts, right. So in our coaching, my biggest strength, I will explain the concepts very clearly in both paper 1 as well as paper 2. In the paper 1 also, there are some conceptual areas there. In the syllabus, regarding this soil science. So the paper 1 area, right? So the soil science, nutrient management, and the irrigation. So these subjects are technical, right? So we need the proper understanding of those areas to explain the concepts, right? And again, in the paper 2 is full of technical. Genetics, plant breeding, seed technology, plant physiology. So they are full of technical. So we need the conceptual understanding because indirect questions are also possible. So one advantage of the Agri optional, questions are static, questions are directly from the syllabus. Most of the questions are direct, but some questions are indirect. So they ask the question based on your understanding, right? So for that, we need a proper conceptual clarity, right? So in our coaching, I will explain all these concepts very clearly. We will start from the basics only, okay, right? Particularly this plant breeding area. Okay, right. Right. And then regularly, we will provide a class test, okay, after the completion of a particular subject. So we go actually in our class, we go alternatively, paper 1, paper 2. So in the first class, I will start with the basics, agronomy area, the cropping system, the cropping pattern. That's the first topic, the basic topic. So then after that, after completing this area, I will move to the paper 2, genetics, right? So we go alternatively, right? So after completion of every subject, I will conduct the class test. So based on the weightage, I will conduct the class test. So regularly, we will be having class test. So in our classroom program, I will conduct more than 10 tests, right? So again here you will get the answer writing practice. And moreover, this class test is consist of only 5 questions, right? Just 1 hour test, 5 questions. So you'll get the best answer writing practice, right? So you can complete the course along with our classroom program. And the 5 months program, you will, okay, so maximum I will cover in the class test, I will cover the all major areas, right? So if you cover the class test with our classroom program, you can able to complete nearly 80% of the syllabus before the April, okay, right? And then I will provide so during our, after every class test, I will discuss the answer rating, so how to approach the particular topic, and then okay, we will have the answer discussion session also after every test. So I will provide model answers, my own model answers. So what should be the perfect answer for the particular topic, particular question? Then I will share the toppers answer copies for the relevant subject. Okay, right. So regarding our syllabus, so actually in the entire agri optional subject, we study these areas. So the crop production, crop protection, and the crop improvement, right? So the crop production, the first paper, entire paper 1 deals with the crop production, the agronomy areas, cropping system, cropping pattern, irrigation, weed science, dryland agriculture, nutrient management, right? So we study those areas. So the entire paper 1 deals with the crop production, and the paper 2 area we will discuss the crop improvement and the crop protection. So crop improvement, the genetics, plant breeding, and the seed technology, and the crop protection, entomology and the pathology, right? So these are the 3 areas we study in the entire agri optional, the major areas, right? So regarding the syllabus, so these are our paper 1 syllabus. Actually, in the syllabus given again the UPSC, they didn't mention the subject. The syllabus is okay, just plain. So okay, you won't find these headings and all, right? So based on the syllabus, I have given these headings, right? So ecology environment, okay, the first major area, ecology environment. Again, this subject will study in your GS also. So GS, okay, useful for your GS preparation. And again, the same journal will study in the botany also for the forest service preparation, right? Okay. So ecology environment science. And then in the agronomy area, this is a major subject in the paper 1. So under the agronomy, we'll discuss about the cropping system and the cropping pattern in India. Then weed science, irrigation, and dryland agriculture. So the major agronomy concepts. And then soil science. Then there is one subject, forestry also. So very limited, okay, a small subject in the agri paper 1. So forestry also. Then nutrient management. Then agri extension and farm management, right? So if you see the exam pattern in our optional paper, so each paper 250 marks, okay? So there are 8 questions in each paper. We have to attempt 5 questions. So 5 into 50, 250 marks. So this is exam pattern. So choice is there. For optional subject, okay, choice is there. So they divide the paper into 2 areas, section A, section B. So section A, 4 questions, section B, 4 questions. Okay, so this is exam pattern. So for section A, so mostly the 4-5 topics, we can expect question from these areas. And for the section B, from the remaining areas. Okay, in general, there is no clear division. Whereas in other optional, they have clearly mentioned what are the areas for the section A, what are the areas for the section B in some optional subject. But in agriculture, no such a division, right? We can understand that the first 4-5 topics are, we can expect question from the section A, and the remaining questions, okay, remaining topics for the section B, okay, right? So 4 questions. So out of these 8 questions, we have to attempt 5 questions. But there are some conditions, right? So here, in the question number, we cannot choose randomly. There are some conditions, okay, in the choosing the question, right? So here, out of 8 questions, question number 1 and 5 are compulsory, right? We cannot choose randomly 5 questions out of 8. So question number 1 and 5 are compulsory, right? Then from the remaining questions, we have to choose the 3 questions, okay? Again, one more condition, we cannot choose all the 3 questions from a single section, okay? So for 5 questions, 2 questions are already compulsory, right? You have to, okay, you cannot skip these 2 questions. They are compulsory, right? You have to attempt those questions. So already 2 questions are selected. Then for the remaining 3 questions, we cannot choose all 3 questions from a single section. Maximum you can select only 2 questions from a single section. So either you have to follow the 3+2 strategy or 2+3. This is the pattern, exam pattern, okay, for mains, not only agri optional, for every optional subject. So from the section A, 3 question, section B, 2 question, section B, based on your the awareness, okay, based on your knowledge again, the particular topic, based on your strength, you can choose. So if you have covered these areas, okay, well, then we can choose 3 questions from here and 2 questions from this here, okay. For the paper 2, again the same pattern, but my suggestion is for the scoring, these subjects are high scoring. They are purely technical when compared to this area, horticulture, food security, entomology, pathology. So when compared to this area, moreover, they are very, many topics are very vague, right? We cannot exactly predict the nature of the questions, but here the questions are highly predictable in this area, right? So our strategy is always in the paper 2, it should be 3+2. Okay. So for the section A, most of the questions are from this area: genetics, plant breeding, seed technology, plant physiology. So they are highly technical. So we can choose maximum question from the section A and the remaining 2 questions from the section B. This is a strategy. Okay, right. Paper 1 based on our coverage, okay, based on our the strength, we can choose either a 3+2 or 2+3 we can follow. So since it's applied science, many concepts are, many areas are general, many areas are vague, right? So my suggestion is to score high marks in the agri optional paper, always we have to choose a technical area, technical subject to score high marks. Technical subject means in the paper 1, weed science. Weed science is highly technical, right? So weed science, irrigation, soil science, nutrient management, those are technical area. So if you choose maximum question from those area, we can, okay, we can score high marks. So in the paper 2, okay, right. So there are several factors that will play, okay. So regarding the selection of the question, okay, even if you attempt all the question, all the 5 question, but again the marks depends upon the right selection of the question, right? And there is no compromise on the syllabus coverage, okay. This idea is for to score high marks, right? But no compromise on the syllabus coverage. Sir, only if you cover this area, and can we skip, okay, some of the questions from here? No. You cannot skip any part of the syllabus. The entire syllabus is important. Not only agri optional, for every optional subject, syllabus coverage is important because they have changed the question pattern recently, right? So they are asking sub questions, more number of sub questions. They are trying to cover the entire syllabus. In a single question, they are asking 3-4 sub questions. So for 20-mark question, right, they are asking 3 questions in the 20-mark question, a single question. So what is the idea here? For earlier, there was a single question, general question, right? So for the 20 marks or 30 marks, they cover only one subject, one topic. Discuss the impact of climate change in agriculture. Okay. Discuss the impact of climate change in agriculture. So this is one big question, 20-mark question, right? So a single question we cover for 3 pages or 2 pages, okay, right? But now the questions are for the 20-mark question. In a single question, they are asking what are the factors affecting the crop production, climatic elements affecting the crop production. So what is the impact on the climate change of climate change on the crop production? And then what are the initiatives taken by the government regarding those area? So in a single question, they are asking 3-4 sub questions for every topic. Okay. Right. So mostly I know the students from even again from the agri background, so they fear about this area, right? Many students are hesitant to take agriculture optional because of two subjects, entomology and pathology, even for the agri graduates. But actually, don't worry about that. It's very, very easy to cover these areas. Okay. So from the entomology and pathology, we have to cover other areas also, not only pest and disease management. That's part of the one part of the syllabus, right? We can expect one question from those area, one or two questions from those area. We have to cover other areas also, right? And moreover, we can follow some strategy. I will explain in the class how can we easily cover these areas, entomology and pathology, right? No need to study crop wise. So we can cover the disease wise, pest wise, on a simple strategy, right? So many soil-borne pathogens, right? You might have heard about the soil-borne pathogens in agriculture. What is the meaning soil-borne pathogen? The pathogens live in the soil, and during the crop growth, when you sow the seeds or the plants in the field, they infect the plants through the roots. Those are the soil-borne pathogens. Or when you sow the seed, they will enter into the seed. Okay, right. So for the soil-borne pathogen, mostly they cause the symptoms because they attack the roots. When they attack the roots, they cause symptoms like the wilting symptoms, right? So the same symptoms produced by group of pathogens: Fusarium, Verticillium, Phytophthora, right? So these are the soil-borne pathogens. Okay, right. So here the idea, Rhizoctonia, right? Coltotrichum. These are the various the soil-borne pathogens, right? So when they attack this plant, any plant, right? Irrespective of any plant, the symptoms are same. Always they cause the wilting symptoms, drooping of the plant, right? So what is the strategy here? If you cover the one single management practice for the soil-borne pathogen, we can cover all those crops. Don't worry about crop wise. What is the wilting symptom in the cotton, wilting symptom in the PGNP? Because in all the pulses and the dicot plants, the same pathogen is affecting the crop plants. Only the species name is different. Okay. In cotton we say Fusarium oxysporum, right? In PGNP we say Fusarium udan, right? Udan, right? In the banana we say that the Fusarium fusiforme, okay, right? So only the species name is different, but the genus is same. All are Fusarium pathogen, right? So here we can easily cover if you prepare a common strategy. For what is the common strategy for soil-borne pathogen? They are living in the soil, right? So we go for the soil fumigation, crop rotation, polythene mulching, okay, so soil solarization, right? So these are the strategies. So if you prepare in this way, we can easily cover more than 10-20 crops. Okay, always you have to think about in this way, right? So we in the class, I will provide the common strategy, common management strategy for in this category, right? So that you can cover all the crops. So soil-borne pathogens separately, seed-borne pathogens, right? The seed-borne pathogens, smut and bunt disease, seed-borne pathogens, and then airborne pathogens, powdery mildew, rust pathogen, right? So if you cover in this way, no need to worry about the crop-wise management practices. Similarly, for entomology, we can cover the crop pest-wise. Again, no need to go for the crop-wise, pest-wise. We can prepare a common strategy for the sucking pest, all the sucking pest, because symptoms are same, management practices are same. All the borers, lepidoptera insects, we can prepare a common strategy. So don't worry about that. In the class, I will provide only 2 chemicals. For the entire agriculture, I will provide only 2-3 chemicals. Even for the weed science also, we can prepare in that way. No need to remember too many herbicides. No need to remember too many pesticides and fungicides. Not necessary. Okay. Irrespective of the crop, we can try to answer. Okay, right. And another major challenge in the agriculture optional, the package of practices. Only these 2 areas, okay, a little bit challenging. Remaining areas we can easily cover. So the package of practices, this is another challenging area. Challenging means factual. So we need to mug up the facts, okay, right. So the package of practices means for in the paper 1, we have to cover the agricultural crops, the field crops, cereals, pulses, millets, oil seeds. So we cover these crops in the paper 1, right? So package of practices for the all the important crops. So we have to cover nearly 20-30 crops here. So package of practices means starting from sowing till harvest. The management practices. What is the seed rate? What is the spacing? What is the irrigation? What is the application of fertilizer? So we have to cover in this way, right? So here the information is full of the factual information, right? We need to make up those facts. But again, here I will give an idea. No need to prepare again crop wise. We can group the crops into different category, right? We can group 3-4 crops under a single category. We can prepare one common fact. We can apply the same fact for all the crops. Okay, I will tell you the idea, right, later. Okay, so package of practices. Okay, and again in the paper 1, we have to prepare in the table format. Mostly that's the ideal way. So we can prepare in the table format. So what are the suitable varieties? What is the climatic condition? The season, right? Soil type. We have to prepare in this way. Then in the paper 2, again in the horticulture, we have to cover the important horticultural crops the same way. For the fruits, vegetables, okay, important fruits, vegetables, flowers, right? Medicinal plants, aromatic plants, right? So we have to cover those areas. Only these 2 areas are challenging, and moreover nowadays they are giving importance to this area. In the recent pattern, okay, the recent trend for the last 3-4 years, they are asking more questions from the package of practices. More question means they are asking 2 questions from the horticulture constantly in the last 3-4 years. And in the paper 1 also we can expect 1 question from the package of practices. Sometimes they are asking this question in the compulsory part. So we cannot skip. We cannot avoid that question, right? Okay. Still any doubts? Okay. And I open சொல்லிறேன். Already okay, just already சொன்ன மாதிரி தான். Okay, the same இது. Don't think that okay, we can easily score. Okay. No, okay, we cannot apply this concept for any subject. So this is a competitive examination. We have to work hard, right? So no subject is easy or tough. Every option has its own limitations and advantages, right? So based on your strength, based on your interest, you can choose the option subject, right? So, but my suggestion is for the science-based, the bioscience students and the agri students, this is the best option because we can score very high marks in this area, okay? Because it's a technical nature and highly predictable. One more advantage here is in the class, questions full அப்படியே வரும், right? In every test series, okay, I'm conducting test series also. After every prelims, I'll conduct the test series, right? Exactly, I predict the question, okay, the nature of the question, right? In the test series, I give the questions, right? The same question reflect in the exam. Highly predictable because static subject. Based on my experience, I can predict the nearly 80% of the question in the exam, the mains paper. இதான் கேட்பாங்கன்னு தெரியும், right? So in our class, in the program, in our coaching, for every subject, I will cover the possible questions. And now teach பண்ணும்போது என்ன பண்ணுவேன் அப்படின்னா, while teaching every subject, I explain the concept, right? Then after that, I will give you the list of questions. From this topic, what are the questions we can expect, right? So while preparing in the paper, you have to prepare the answer in the question answer format. நீங்க நோட்ஸ் எடுக்கும்போது என்னது, while preparing, while studying in the reference books or the material, you have to prepare in the question and answer format based on the class, the possible questions. You need to prepare in that way. Okay. Online students, any doubts? உங்களுக்கு doubts இருக்கா? So shall we discuss on topic? Right. What topic? Your choice. So it's a demo class also. It's a orientation come demo class. So I will give one demo, okay, for one particular topic, right? So which topic we can discuss? Online students? Cropping system. Okay, right. Environmental ecology, yeah. Okay, right. Right. The environmental ecology is nothing, the conceptual areas are very limited. Okay. So only few areas are conceptual, and moreover, you know, the most of the areas we can easily, by reading the subject, we can understand, okay, most of the areas. Okay, so we'll start with the simple area, okay, simple concept from the cropping system, right? Okay. So you might have heard about this net sown area and grass cropped area, right? Net sown area and grass cropped area. What is the meaning? Net sown area, grass cropped area. How much area? Grass cropped area. Net sown area means? Okay. Actually, net sown area means this is the actual land area available for cultivation. The total area available for the cultivation. So currently in India, it is 140 million hectares. Out of the total geographical area, so 328 million hectares. So this is a geographical area, right? So out of this, 140 million hectares of area in India under the agriculture area. So this is based on the land use classification, right? We classify the land into forest area. 20% forest area, 20-21% forest area, right? So forest area and the residential area, and then water bodies, and then agriculture, wastelands and agriculture. So this is a classification, land use classification, right? Okay. So under the agriculture, nearly 140 million hectares. So it is approximately 45% of the total geography area. If you calculate this, okay, the 140 out of 328, you will get 45%, approximately 45%. So this is called arable land. Arable land. Arable land means the land utilized for agriculture, cultivable land. Arable land means cultivable land. So currently India is having the world's largest arable land, not China. Okay, in terms of production, China is the first, right? In terms of most of the agri commodities, for rice and wheat, for the total food grains, China is a major producer at the global level. India is second only. India is the second largest producer, first China. But in terms of area under agriculture, India is first. But பெருமையெல்லாம் கிடையாது. Okay. So we own the largest land area. அப்ப என்ன இருக்கணும்? Automatically we should be the largest producer, right? But the problem here is productivity. So China with limited land resources, they are producing more because of productivity. Their productivity is very high when compared to India, right? So India's productivity is one of the world's lowest. We can compare only one crop with the world average, wheat. That too in Punjab, right? So that's why India's production is low, but we are having the largest arable land area, right? So this is the actual land area available for the cultivation, net sown area. Then grass crop area. So currently it is around 195 million hectares. So this is the grass crop area. And based on these two, we can calculate the cropping intensity index. So cropping intensity index, or simply called the cropping intensity. So the formula is grass cropped area divided by net sown area into 100. So this is the formula. So if you calculate this, 195 million hectares of grass cropped area and 140 million hectares of net sown area into 100. So you will get approximately 140%. So this is the cropping intensity index in India. So these are approximate values only, okay, right. So what is the meaning of grass cropped area, and what is the meaning of cropping intensity index in India? And this is one of the important index in the cropping system concept, one of the important indicator, right? Okay, so why this concept is important, right? First, we need to understand this area. Okay, ma'am. So you told that in a single year. So very simple understanding. For example, so first we can take a region wise. Right. So in India, some areas are covered with proper irrigation facilities, right? And some areas are facing the only the monsoon rainfall. Okay, right. So we divide the agriculture into two major areas: rain-fed agriculture or dryland agriculture, irrigated agriculture. Okay, based on the availability of irrigation source, right? So based on the irrigation source, they divide the agriculture into rain-fed agriculture and irrigated agriculture. So the irrigated agriculture, the major sources are the canal irrigation, well irrigation and tank irrigation. These are the three major sources for the irrigated agriculture, right? So canal irrigation, well irrigation and tank irrigation. Which is very dominant in India? Any idea? Which is the most dominant source of irrigation for agriculture? Not canal, well irrigation. Okay. So canal irrigation is famous in North India only, but throughout India, well irrigation is the most common type of irrigation, common source of irrigation. It's not a type of irrigation. Type of irrigation means that's different. Surface irrigation, subsurface irrigation, micro irrigation, they are the types or methods of irrigation. Here the source of irrigation means canal source, well irrigation and a tank source, right? In North India, canal irrigation is very famous because in North India, the rivers are perennial rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, so they are perennial rivers. So you can find a lot of, okay, the canals, Ganga canal, UP, okay, actually very famous in the UP, Uttar Pradesh, Ganga canal, Yamuna canal, upper Yamuna canal, right? And there is one famous canal, India's longest irrigation canal, Indira Gandhi canal, from the Bakranangal Dam, Satluj River, okay? So from the Satluj River, across Satluj, we constructed the Bakranangal Dam. So it supplies water for 4 states, Bakranangal canal, right? So from Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh and Rajasthan. And the Indira Gandhi canal is that supply water for the desert region in Rajasthan. That's the longest canal in India, irrigation canal in India. So North India, canal irrigation is very famous, in particularly UP, Uttar Pradesh. In South India, tank irrigation. Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is the highest number of the tanks. Tank irrigation very famous in Tamil Nadu and the Karnataka, Andhra, right? So tank irrigation is nothing but lakes and ponds. ஏரி பாசனம் சொல்லுவாங்களே தமிழ்ல சொல்லும்போது என்னது ஏரி பாசனம். It's okay, it's nothing but tank, the lakes and the pond irrigation. That's a tank irrigation. And then well irrigation famous throughout India, particularly bore well. So நம்ம யாரும் போல open well என்னது? Nobody is constructing the open well, right? So currently we use the bore well, tubewell or the bore well for irrigation, right? So nearly 50% covered by the well irrigation, and the canal irrigation nearly 30%, remaining percentage by the tank irrigation, right? So the irrigated agriculture means those area, the land held by the farmer, right? So those area covered with any one of this irrigation facility, either canal irrigation, or from the tank irrigation or from the well irrigation, right? So those areas are called irid agriculture, and those farmers are called irid farmers, right? So the irrigation is very famous in the entire east coast of India. We call it as delta regions. Kaveri Delta, from the Kaveri River. In Andhra, Mahanadi and the Krishna and Godavari in Andhra, right? And then Odisha, Mahanadi Delta, right? So in the delta regions, irrigation facilities are through the canal irrigation, okay, river source, very famous. And another major area in the Indo-Gangetic plains, northern plains. So here just I told you that the canal irrigation, the entire IGP region, okay, Indo-Gangetic plains. Whereas in the central part of India, mostly in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and then Karnataka, central part of Karnataka. So mostly in those areas, they face the rainfall, dryland agriculture, right? So what is the meaning dryland agriculture, rainfall agriculture? Here, the irrigation source for the farmers only through rainfall. No artificial source of irrigation. No canal source or the well irrigation. The water source for agriculture is only through rainfall, monsoon rainfall, right? So those lands are fed by rainwater. That's why it's rain fed. Those lands are fed by the rainwater. So rain fed agriculture are the dryland agriculture. Right. So currently, the 140 out of this 140 million hectares of net zone area, exactly 50%, almost 50%, right? So for the rain fed agriculture, it is 48%. And the irrigated agriculture, it is currently 52%. Out of this total area, 50% of area covered under the irrigated agriculture. Remaining 40% of area come under the rain-fed agriculture. So just I told you that China leading in the production, China leading in the productivity. One of the reason in China, the irrigation coverage is more than 75%. Okay. It is more than 75% okay, in China, the irrigation coverage. There is a reason for the high productivity. And it's a well-known fact, it's a proved fact, okay. It's a well-known fact that under the irrigated condition, we can able to produce more. The productivity is automatically high. Right. For now, we can take on a simple case study. Okay, region-wise. Okay, no need to go the overall. Okay, India. So just we can take one simple area, one location. So in the Kaveri Delta region. Okay, in Tamil Nadu, in the Kaveri Delta region. So Kaveri Delta means the region, the Tanjavur, Tiruvarur, Nagapattinam, those areas they come under the Kaveri Delta, Kaveri Belt. Okay, right. In those region, what is the famous cropping pattern? Rice, rice, rice. Okay. So this is one of the famous cropping pattern in the Delta region. In the Krishna Delta also. Okay. So mela pona Nellur. The Nellur, okay, name itself Nellur, Nell, right? Rice belt, okay, Nellur, and the Krishna belt and the Godavari belt, famous for rice cultivation. So this is a famous cropping pattern in the Delta region. What is the meaning rice, rice, rice? It is based on the season. In India, we have 3 seasons. Okay, first season, the Kharif season, southwest monsoon, okay, June to September. The summer season, right? Sorry, the monsoon season. And then after monsoon season, next season, winter season, October to March, okay? And then summer season, final season, summer season. So we call it as a Kharif crop, Kharif season, and then a Rabi season and then summer season. So in India, we follow 3 seasons, majorly 3 seasons, Kharif, Rabi and summer season. Kharif season is a monsoon season. It follows southwest monsoon, right? And the 4 months period, June to September. Then after that, Rabi season, winter season, then summer season, March to May. So in those regions, it is possible to grow rice in all 3 seasons. First season, rice, Kharif season. Again, they go for the rice. Again, they go for the rice. Okay. Every year, they follow the same pattern. Okay. So here, in the Delta region, for a farmer having 1 hectare of land, assume that a farmer is having 1 hectare of land, right? What is the net zone area for that farmer? 1 hectare. Okay. So how can we calculate the crop intensity? So the 1 hectare of land, this is a net zone area, right? What is the grass cropped area? 3 hectare. Because the same land is utilized for 3 times in a single year. So what is the meaning grass cropped area? How many times the land is put into cultivation? Okay, how many times the land is utilized for the cultivation in a single year? Right? So here, the same land is utilized for 3 times. First season, rice. Second season, rice. Third season, rice. So he is raising 3 crops in a single year. So the grass cropped area is 3 hectare. This is the meaning. So what is the meaning grass cropped area? How many times in a single year the land is utilized for cultivation? How many times the farmers utilize the land for cultivation? Okay. In some areas, due to lack of water availability, they limit this to only 2 crops in some areas. Okay. It's not always possible. 3 crops are possible because summer season is one of the lean season in India. The 2 most active seasons are the Kharif and Rabi seasons. Summer season is dry season. Okay. So in that case, mostly the farmers avoid this situation, right? So here they go for a fallow without cultivation. Fallow means leaving land uncultivated. Okay. That's the fallow, right? So sometimes they go for the 2 crops in a single year. So here the grass cropped area 2 hectare, right? So by applying this formula, you will get the cropping intensity. Whether it is okay based on the number of crops in a single year, it is either 300% or 200%. Okay. But the condition is, how can the farmers go for 2 crops or 3 crops in a single year? Availability of water. That's a major limiting factor for agriculture. Availability of the water sources, right? So in the northwestern part of the country, they go for the rice, wheat. So 2 crops are possible always, right? So because here water is available throughout the year. So the major limiting factor here is water, availability of water. So if the farmers are getting assured source of irrigation from the canal source or from the well source or from the tank source, they can able to go for 3 crops or 2 crops in a single year. It is possible, right? Whereas a farmer owning land in the central part of India under the dryland agriculture, in the Madhya Pradesh, okay, a farmer is mostly in the Madhya Pradesh, pulses are famous, right? So in those situations, assume that a farmer owning land, 1 hectare of land in the central part of India under the dryland condition, right? So in the dryland condition, this is the net zone area, 1 hectare, okay? Then what is the grass cropped area? How many crops are possible in the dryland condition? Only 1 crop is possible, maximum. Except some areas, only 1 crop is possible because next season, no rainfall. So the entire land is dependent on the monsoon rainfall, right? So monsoon rainfall is only effective for only 4 months, the June to September, right? After that, no rainfall. So mostly they go for the only 1 crop during the monsoon season. So it is 100%, right? So it differs from one region to another region. The primary factor is water availability. Okay. So based on that, if you calculate for throughout India, the average value, you will get around 140%. So it is okay, net zone area is 140 million hectares. And the grass cropped area is approximately 180 million hectares. So we will get 140%. Okay. Cropping intensity. So what is the meaning actually exactly this 140%? What is the interpretation? We can again interpret in a way 1.4 times. Okay. So the 140%, again, the meaning of 140%, the land is utilized 1.4 times the net zone area. That is the meaning. We utilize the land 140%. The 140% means that is for the net zone area. So we utilize the land 1.4 times. In a single year. Okay, in a single year, we utilize the land. On average, we utilize the land 1.4 times. That is the meaning. Okay. Right. Then why this concept is important? Why you need to understand? Okay, always in our agriculture optional paper, after studying a particular concept, then we have to link with the agriculture. What is the practical application by studying this concept? That is the conclusion for most of the question. Why I'm telling this agri option is easy, right? Regarding this scoring, okay? Because unlike in other optional, the popular optional, the problem here is we stuck with the students stuck with the introduction conclusion. So always think about giving effective introduction. You know, they need to seek that the grasp the attention of the examiner. They have to impress the examiner in the starting itself. So they are for any question, the dynamic question or the current affairs question, they have to give you a proper introduction, effective introduction. But agriculture, no need to worry about that. Since the technical paper, introduction is always easy. Conclusion is also always very easy, right? We can easily manage. Introduction, always definition. That's all. Okay? Don't think about this giving effective introduction. Okay? Don't write any extra story, right? Cropping system is one of the very important concepts in India. So they are important for the growing crops, development of agriculture. Don't write any extra story, right? Simply we can define what is cropping system. That is the introduction for most of the areas, for any topic. Okay, right? Okay, so introduction. Conclusion area, you have to link with the agriculture. Why we study this concept? What is the importance in agriculture? Right? If you link this concept, then automatically that is a conclusion. That means simply you can say that significance of the topic for agriculture. That is the conclusion. So why this topic is important? What is the understanding of this topic? What is the need for understanding? Because this topic is important to assess the or to understand the food security, food production or crop production, right? So what is if the percentage, okay, actually it was a simple question, whether the percentage should be high or low. Okay, currently it is 140%, okay? Whether for the agricultural development, to achieve the food security, to achieve higher crop production, whether the percentage should be high or low, it should be high, right? Okay, so what is the meaning here? If the percentage is more than 200%, what is the meaning here? We are utilizing the land 2 times. So there are two concepts, okay? There are two understanding here. One is for the higher cropping percentage, okay? So the intensity percentage is important for the achieving higher production. If you utilize the land properly, we can achieve higher production. So we can also calculate the land use efficiency. How the land utilized efficiently in a given year. If the land is fallow for most of the year, then wasted earlier. A farmer having 1 hectare of land and the land is utilized only 4 months period. Remaining 8 months, the land is lying as a vacant, okay? So fallow. They leave the land fallow without cultivation. So here, waste of the land resources. So we can interpret in 2 ways, right? The significance. One is the percentage is important to achieve the higher production, right? So if the percentage is more, it indicates that the production is more, right? Then one more understanding, we can able to analyze how the lands are utilized in a particular area. What is the land use efficiency in a particular area? If the percentage is 300%, so that we can say that the land is utilized fully. Or in some areas, for example, if you are growing a 3 months crop, okay, if you are growing a 3 months crop, even 4 crops are possible. We can take, okay, we can cultivate 4 crops, 4 into 3, 12 months. Very short duration crops, okay, 3 months crop. We can take up 4 crops. So in that case, the percentage will be 400%. So this is the highest percentage, highest efficiency, okay, right? This understanding of this concept, right? So why this, I'm emphasizing this point, because this is a success of green revolution, not high yielding varieties. Green revolution, achieve how we achieved the higher production. Within next 10 years of green revolution, we doubled the production. Now we attain the status of the food surplus country. That is because of green revolution, right? So at the time of independence, before green revolution, we faced a severe shortage of food grains. We imported food grains from Russia, from USA, and our people faced starvation and hunger at the time, okay, at the time of independence. Then we implemented green revolution. Within the next 10 years of green revolution, we doubled the production of rice and wheat. How we achieved that? Many would say, answer that we introduced high yielding varieties. Okay, we developed the irrigation facilities, but actually the key point here is actually we increased the cropping intensity index within a short span of time. So we introduced that because most of those varieties were long duration varieties before green revolution. Most of the traditional varieties of rice are long duration varieties, 6 months crop, right? So the earlier traditional varieties of rice are actually 6 months crop. They occupy the land for 6 months. One crop occupies 6 months land, 6 months the time period. So we cannot take up the next crop. So that's why they introduced the short duration varieties, 4 months crop. So that after the cultivation of the rice, we can go for the next crop, right? So this is a strategy, okay? This is a key. We doubled the production, okay? Right. So here on a simple question, okay? So in this area, very simple question they ask, okay, from the basic concept. In the very short question, sometimes they ask a 5-mark question also. So they combine 2 5-mark question, right? So they ask a very simple concept. Write the concept of write short notes on the cropping intensity index. So your answer should be what is the definition of crop intensity index, and then you have to write the formula. Then after writing the formula, you can use the real fact, the exact fact, okay, in India, the 140 million hectares and the 180 million hectares, okay, we can use the real fact, and then we can give an illustration also. To explain the concept, we can give one illustration, right, based on the dryland area and irrigated agriculture, right, and then finally you have to give this interpretation. So the answer structure should be, okay, we know the concept, right, but in the presentation wise, while writing the answer for this question, it should be a proper structured way. So introduction, definition, and then formula, giving the fact, illustration, then significance are the importance of this concept. That is the conclusion. Okay. So this is a proper answer for this question, the short question. Write short notes on cropping intensity index. Frida? So we approach every topic in this way. Okay, right, yeah. So in the answer, okay, it's not enough. Okay, the answer is not finished, right? So now the question, okay, so what is the drawback in this method? We write the significance or the importance, okay, that's okay. Then we have to, okay, we have to write the whether this concept is perfect, whether it gives always the true picture. What is the drawback in this method? For example, a farmer is growing sugarcane or banana, right? So banana is a 10 months crop. Sugarcane is a 10 months crop, 1 year, almost 1 year crop, right? So in that case, if you, for a sugarcane farmer or a banana farmer, right, what is the net sown area? 1 hectare. What is the grass cropped area? In a single year, you can cultivate only 1 crop. So the percentage is 100%, right? Can we say that the land is not utilized efficiently? Actually, he utilizes the land efficiently. He utilizes the land for the whole year, right? So this concept is applicable only for the seasonal crops, not for annual crops and the horticulture crops. There is a drawback in this method. You don't always give the true picture. If you say the percentage is 100, then we cannot interpret that the land utilized only one time. The land efficiency is very low. We cannot say like that, right? Because the farm, okay, the farmer might grow, okay, they might grow the sugarcane or banana. Long duration, okay, in the long duration crop, only 1 crop is possible. Cotton is a 6 months crop. So 2 crop only possible, right? In that case. So we cannot apply this concept for the long duration crops, annual crops. So it is suitable only for the seasonal crops to assess the land use efficiency. Right. Is that clear? Online students, any doubts? Now you can ask your general doubts, okay? Any doubts? So the class will be going like this only, right? For every topic, we discuss in this way, right? So if you feel that I'm going fast, then we can, based on your, adjust panikalam, okay? Right. So I'll adjust the speed based on your understanding, okay? And in the class, okay, for the online students, I will provide separate time for the doubts, okay? During the break, I will provide separate time for the any doubts. Okay. Right. So one general advice, okay? So now we have chosen this optional, the agree optional, right? So I already told you that. So for any optional subject to score high marks, we have to approach it systematically. The systematic preparation with the proper guidance. So we have to go in the right direction, okay? Right. So the two mistakes we have to avoid. Many agree students, they do this mistake, preparing solely based on the PYQ, right? This is one mistake we have to avoid, right? So many students are, okay, regularly I'm getting calls, okay, from throughout India for regarding this, sir, I need a PYQ answer. For last 20 years, 30 years, and I need only the PYQ answer, right? I don't prepare that material. I never prepare, okay, I'm never going to prepare this material, right? So always you have to cover the syllabus. So very simple, actually. If you cover the syllabus, you can also automatically you can cover the PYQ, because 100% of the questions are from the syllabus only, right? So if you cover the syllabus based on the syllabus topic one by one, right? After that, we can refer the PYQ. After covering a particular topic, then we can refer the PYQ. What are the questions from the topic? Then you can prepare based on that. So PYQ will give you an idea how to approach a particular topic, right? Just, okay, this is only for the reference purpose. So your preparation should be based on the syllabus only. That's why we have prepared the material, right? So it contains the, based on the syllabus wise, I have covered the every topic, including micro topics, the decoding of the syllabus. It's very important, okay? Right. And the second mistake to avoid, referring ChatGPT for everything. For the whole syllabus, they are referring the ChatGPT. So please avoid, it's a time-consuming process. What they are doing, they are referring the reference books. And for the satisfaction, for every topic, they are searching in the ChatGPT to get better answer, to get effective answer. Please avoid, right? So always you have to refer the proper reference books for the, because Agri is a science-based optional technical subject. They are setting question directly from the reference books, right? Only for the complex area, only for the some PYQ will be little bit tricky, or sometimes, okay, it's very difficult to find the answer in the book directly. Only in those cases we can refer the ChatGPT or the AI tools, right? But your preparation should be based on the reference books only. Either you can follow my material. For the class students, I'll provide the material, okay? This for, again, whether you're joining or not, okay? So if you're choosing Agri optional, this is the correct way, correct strategy. So if you join the coaching, you'll get this material and everything. You can just follow the material. But if you're preparing on your own, for the self-preparing students, I'm telling this. So you have to refer the standard reference books only. Okay, right. So first we have to start with the Agri optional. Okay, suppose if you are preparing for the Forest Service, Indian Forest Service, don't worry about botany now, because many topics are overlapping. So first you have to start with the Agri optional. And then after that, actually we have enough time gap. After the prelims, after the CSE mains, they gave 2 months of time gap for the Forest Service mains, right? Next year. So you can, that time is enough actually. Already you have covered one optional, agriculture optional, right? Then within the 2 months, 3 months of time gap, we can prepare the botany. It's manageable only. So first you need to focus on the Agri option. One option you should be very strong. Then we can focus on botany, but don't worry about botany. I will guide you how to approach botany and all. I will guide you. Okay, right. Okay, Ravi Shankar, yeah. Class timing morning 9 to 1. So it's a week, okay, since it's a weekend batch. So morning, the timing morning 9 to 1. So I will intimate the time later. Okay, so this currently we fixed this timing, and then before usually this is a standard time. But again, in case of any change, I will intimate in the group. Actually, we create a separate group for this batch. For every batch, we'll create a separate Telegram channel. So in the channel, I will intimate all these details regarding the class timing, class test, everything. I will intimate in the group. So for the online students also, they can, I will upload the question paper in the channel itself. They can take printout and they can write, they can submit the answer regarding the class test. And regarding material, for offline students, we will get directly from the academy. For the online students, we collect the address, the Google form, and we will dispatch the material within 1 or 2 weeks after the commencement of the class for the online students. So both actually weekend, okay, Saturday and Sunday, because we cannot finish only on Saturday, right? So Saturday and Sunday we have this class, so 9 to 1 p.m. And the timing is 9 to 1 p.m. Right? At least we need to take 4 hours. But don't worry, I will give break, okay? It won't be a continuous class. I will give a break after every 1.5 hours. Maximum we'll get 2 breaks in between. Okay. So your strategy should be in this time period, okay? Because mostly the July month July batch they can finish the course. Okay, okay. The first batch is going to complete it. So I will finish the course within next 2 weeks. Okay. So for this batch, some of you 2027 aim பண்ணுவீங்க. Okay, some students you are aiming for the 2026 or they go for 2027, right? So my suggestion is that during this time period, we can focus the weekend for the optional subject. In a morning only class. So morning 9 to 1 p.m. we have the class. So you can utilize the weekend for the entire optional preparation and weekdays for the GS preparation, the prelims area and the other static portions. So we can allocate for the on the day on the morning try to complete in the evening time. So evening will be free only, right? Saturday, Sunday. So try to cover every weekend. So the weekend portion on the weekend itself, try to cover. And regarding the notes making and all, I will tell you later in the class. And we have to prepare a short notes. I will discuss in the class how to prepare the short notes. Now it's better actually. It's not compulsory, but it's better if you prepare the short notes from the material for the revision purpose, and next year after the prelims, it will be easy for you. Yeah, for online students, recording will be there. We create a separate, already we have a separate portal, okay? Students portal is there. So after every class, we upload the videos in the students portal, and we give this a unique ID. Your admission number is a unique ID. You can, by using that unique ID, you can log in into the portal. You can access the recorded videos. After every weekend, we upload the videos. For the offline students also, you can, if you miss any class, you can request for the recorded videos. So for the online students, they can attend the class live class. At the same time, they also get the videos, recorded videos. So test timing flexibility, yeah. For online students, okay, I will upload the question paper, then they can write. Mostly flexibility irukku, but please follow the time schedule. Okay, and discipline is very important. But I will provide a flexibility. Okay, you can write later. You can submit the test later. You can send it me separately. No issues. I will correct it, but follow the schedule properly. Okay. Online students, any doubts? Shall I end up the session? Okay, thank you. Right. Yeah.